Daily celestial weather. One aspect shapes every sign today, and King of Cups reveals where its message becomes impossible to ignore. Stay for your sun, moon, and rising. In the next few minutes, we will connect today's real celestial snapshot with 3 visible cards for every sign. This forecast is for Friday, August 21st, 2026. At noon Universal Time Coordinated, the moon is at 13.68 degrees of Sagittarius. The closest major aspect in today's snapshot is Venus opposition Saturn, with an orb of 0.03 degrees. This collective astrology and tarot reading is for reflection and entertainment, not medical, legal, or financial advice. Aries. Aries, this spread centers on a decision you have been impatient to make. Strength upright opens with patient courage and influence without force. The tension comes through the Lovers reversed, a blocked, delayed, or inward experience of alignment between values, desire, and an important choice. Instead of repeating that pattern, Eight of Wands reversed asks for the delayed, excessive, or internal side of movement, skill, or restriction involving initiative, courage, and creative momentum. Write down the choice you are actually avoiding, then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Taurus. Taurus, this spread centers on security, values, or a commitment that needs honest maintenance. King of Cups reversed opens with the delayed, excessive, or internal side of visible authority and responsibility involving emotion, relationship, and intuition. The tension comes through the Hanged Man upright, progress through pause, surrender, and a changed perspective. Instead of repeating that pattern, Four of Wands reversed asks for the delayed, excessive, or internal side of stability that can become stuck involving initiative, courage, and creative momentum. Protect 1 hour for the priority that has earned it, then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Gemini. Gemini, this spread centers on a conversation, choice, or piece of information. The Magician reversed opens with a blocked, delayed, or inward experience of using the tools already available to act deliberately. The tension comes through Temperance upright, healing through proportion, timing, and careful integration. Instead of repeating that pattern, Knight of Pentacles upright asks for active pursuit involving work, resources, health routines, and stability. Ask the clarifying question before filling the silence yourself. Then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Cancer. Cancer, this spread centers on home, trust, or an emotional boundary. The Chariot upright opens with focused direction despite competing pressures. The tension comes through the Hierophant upright, tradition, teaching, and deciding which rules still deserve loyalty. Instead of repeating that pattern, Nine of Cups upright asks for maturity and nearing completion involving emotion, relationship, and intuition. Name the boundary calmly before resentment names it for you, then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Leo, this spread centers on visibility, confidence, or a creative risk. Five of Wands upright opens with friction and adjustment involving initiative, courage, and creative momentum. The tension comes through Eight of Cups upright, movement, skill, or restriction involving emotion, relationship, and intuition. Instead of repeating that pattern, the Devil upright asks for an attachment or habit that gains power when left unnamed. Show the work before it feels perfectly finished. Then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Virgo. Virgo, this spread centers on work, well-being, or a system that needs refinement. Ace of Cups reversed opens with the delayed, excessive, or internal side of a beginning involving emotion, relationship, and intuition. The tension comes through Two of Pentacles upright, a choice or balance involving work, resources, health routines, and stability. Instead of repeating that pattern, King of Pentacles upright asks for visible authority and responsibility involving work, resources, health routines, and stability. Remove one unnecessary step from the routine. Then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Libra. Libra, this spread centers on reciprocity, partnership, or a fair agreement. Five of Cups upright opens with friction and adjustment involving emotion, relationship, and intuition. The tension comes through Queen of Swords upright, mature inner command involving thought, truth, and difficult choices. Instead of repeating that pattern, King of Wands upright asks for visible authority and responsibility involving initiative, courage, and creative momentum. Define what equal effort would look like in practice. Then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card.
Scorpio.
Scorpio. This spread centers on intimacy, power, or something ready to transform. The moon upright opens with uncertainty, instinct, and the need to separate fear from evidence. The tension comes through Two of Cups reversed, the delayed, excessive, or internal side of a choice or balance involving emotion, relationship, and intuition. Instead of repeating that pattern, Ten of Pentacles upright asks for the full consequence of a cycle involving work, resources, health routines, and stability. Release one form of control that is disguising fear, then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Sagittarius. Sagittarius. This spread centers on direction, belief, or an opportunity that widens your world. Nine of Pentacles reversed opens with the delayed, excessive, or internal side of maturity and nearing completion involving work, resources, health routines, and stability. The tension comes through Judgment upright, an honest reckoning followed by a conscious second chance. Instead of repeating that pattern, Six of Swords upright asks for recovery or exchange involving thought, truth, and difficult choices. Test the opportunity against your deeper direction, then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card.
Capricorn.
Capricorn. This spread centers on responsibility, ambition, or a long-term structure. Knight of Swords upright opens with active pursuit involving thought, truth, and difficult choices. The tension comes through the World reversed, a blocked, delayed, or inward experience of completion, integration, and readiness for the next cycle. Instead of repeating that pattern, Page of Wands reversed asks for the delayed, excessive, or internal side of a message, lesson, or first attempt involving initiative, courage, and creative momentum. Choose the durable result over the impressive shortcut, then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Aquarius. Aquarius. This spread centers on community, independence, or an unconventional plan. Ten of Wands upright opens with a full consequence of a cycle involving initiative, courage, and creative momentum. The tension comes through Queen of Cups reversed, the delayed, excessive, or internal side of mature inner command involving emotion, relationship, and intuition. Instead of repeating that pattern, Four of Swords upright asks for stability that can become stuck involving thought, truth, and difficult choices. Invite one useful outsider into the conversation, then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Pisces. Pisces. This spread centers on intuition, closure, or the boundary between empathy and escape. Seven of Pentacles reversed opens with the delayed, excessive, or internal side of assessment under pressure involving work, resources, health routines, and stability. The tension comes through Seven of Wands reversed, the delayed, excessive, or internal side of assessment under pressure involving initiative, courage, and creative momentum. Instead of repeating that pattern, Queen of Pentacles upright asks for mature inner command involving work, resources, health routines, and stability. Separate intuition from wishful thinking and writing, then notice what becomes simpler when your action matches the full spread rather than its loudest card. Closing. Those are today's 12 sign readings. Return tomorrow for a newly calculated sky and a new visible card spread. If this helped you reflect, subscribe and share your sun, moon, and rising signs in the comments.